Journey with us as we take a bus from Johannesburg to Blantyre, Malawi, exploring the African countryside and traveling through Zimbabwe, Mozambique, and finally into Malawi over a total of 2 days, crossing 6 borders. Hey there, this is Bakelak Anita checking in from Blantyre, Malawi. Our trip started really early on a Sunday morning on the 3rd of December as we traveled with the Uber to take the bus from the inner city of Johannesburg. So here we're passing through Hillbrow, and we paid a total of 2,400 Rand for the bus per person, and this was peak time because a lot of Malawians were traveling back to Malawi for the holiday season. But normally we were told that the tickets normally cost between 1,400 and 1,800 Rand, but obviously during peak season then there's more demand, so it was a bit more expensive.
Lama out ama customer la
Kanjani?
ayapha
We soon got an appreciation of the really devout Christians on the bus, not only on the bus, but in Malawi in general. We found a strong Christian community, and they started off the trip with a prayer.
Holy Ghost, every attack, everybody, Holy Ghost, Holy Ghost, Holy Ghost.
The bus ride itself was quite comfortable, bearing in mind that this was December time and it's really hot, and the bus had air conditioning that was actually too cold at some point, but I guess that was good because there's a lot of people on the bus and we need to maintain the freshness of the bus, considering we'd be traveling over a course of 2 days. But it was quite comfortable and there was enough seating for everyone to sit with all of our luggage. And along the way I just realized how much the bus companies, but also just a lot of goods and the movement of goods on the journey, and the magnitude of trade that's happening in the region. And as we were leaving Limpopo, not Limpopo, but yeah, Limpopo, the province. As we were leaving the province, we just noticed some of the accommodations around and the poor quality of the buildings and the poor maintenance of such places that used to be really beautiful tourist sites, and they've unfortunately become dilapidated and not well maintained, which is something that we also observed when we arrived in Malawi at some of the accommodation places and options that we had. So as a vegetarian, you obviously have to look out for yourself because along the journey of traveling there won't be a lot of healthy options for you. So we had packed some boiled sweet potatoes and a chili sauce. Bridgers.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, she is, bruh. Yeah, she is. Yeah. Sunrise and the sunset, Bay Bridge, Border Gate. When you're traveling by bus or by road, I think you have to get out of the bus at each and every border point. So when you reach the border, all the passengers get off and the bus crosses, and then we get onto the bus once everyone has stamped their passports. We just got our passports stamped. We're going back to the bus. Yo, but at least we have the aircon.
Yeah. I can't feel it.
Yeah. The skin is skinning.
This is my shade.
Shade on your passports. Ooh. The air border. My biggest gripe on the whole journey was the fact that the music, the gospel music in particular, was playing really loudly throughout the whole trip. And when I asked them to turn it down, they said that the driver can't turn down the music because they are going to fall asleep. So throughout the night, throughout the whole journey that took about 30 hours, we were hearing this music. Something that was really helpful throughout the journey was keeping my location on so that I could see where we were. So despite the fact that I didn't have access to the internet and data, I could still keep track of where we were along the journey.
Kuno kunya mabanda pepa alaga bena passport ni 50 rand siko mo ko liberaso tiangulu.
Another thing was the fact that firstly the announcements were in Chichewa, which we obviously don't understand because we're South African, but secondly we observed a lot of corruption during the border crossings. You would have heard possibly in the clip before of the announcer speaking about 50 rands that people have to pay, but this was mostly because a lot of Malawians had overstayed the amount of time that they had been given at the border. So when you go back, then you get penalized for it. But this is not on the books kind of penalized. It's just officials asking for 50 rand bribes to let them through each border post. So at each border post they had to pay. But this was only specific to Malawians or people who had other passports. But because we had South African passports, we didn't have any issues. I didn't have to pay any bribes on the way to Malawi. I couldn't take any more videos or pictures at the border posts just because firstly it's not allowed. There's a lot of signs at the border posts saying that you aren't allowed to use even your handheld cell phone is not allowed. But also I was tired and just really exhausted at this point. But I still enjoyed observing the difference in the landscape, especially the style of building and how it's different from Zimbabwe, and observing Mozambique, how different it is. So at this point, we were beginning to approach Malawi, and seeing the Zambezi River was a huge highlight. After reaching the border of Malawi, we had to get off again to get our passport stamps, and we experienced, one of the worst inconveniences. But basically, we had to get a taxi, a private cab from the border to Blantyre, where we were going, because all of the passengers in the bus who had goods and those who had overstayed in South Africa had to negotiate at the border to basically come back into their own country. This is also quite bizarre for me, but anyway, they had to go through all of that. But most importantly, they had to take their goods through customs, because a lot of them had goods that they had bought in South Africa, they had brought back to Malawi, whether for their businesses or for their families, and that had to pass through customs. And we were told that would take about 6 hours to get through. And someone from the bus company organized this cab for us that we paid about, I think it was 1,200 Rand, which is 120,000 kwacha, which is the local currency in Malawi that had recently gone through another devaluation. But eventually we got to our accommodation after 32 hours of traveling to appreciate this beautiful space that we were in with an incredible view. So yeah, we had quite a crazy, beautiful experience on the journey here. 6 border gates, and yeah, it was quite exhausting but really worthwhile. So this is us after just having arrived on the 4th of December in Blantyre, and we went for dinner at this really amazing space. They had delicious food. We had chapati and Malawi rice, of course. And the next day, which was the 6th, we took a private cab into the city center so that from there we could take a minibus taxi that would take us to Zomba. And Zomba is the old capital city. It was the capital city during the colonial times, and there's a lot of nature, there's waterfalls, there's forests and beautiful scenery that we wanted to connect with. So this was us in the minibus taxi. It was really cool also to be in the space with locals and just being immersed in their experience and just seeing how they go about their everyday lives. And eventually when we got to Zomba, about 2 hours later, we met with Elder JDI, who we know from Joburg at the drill hall, and he's back home in Malawi where he's running his farm. And he became our local guide basically and took us around to mainly help us find accommodation. So Zomba, it has a lot of tourists because of the nature, the scenery, but also because of Emperor's View, where we went to. So because there's a lot of tourists, the prices for accommodation are quite steep. So we wanted to find another accommodation, and it really helped to have locals take us around and show us and introduce us to spaces that would be more accommodating to our budget.
Yeah, it looks cool. Hey, so the police officers there with the minibus on our way.
Oh, you're coming from Blantyre?
Yeah, Blantyre. A village called 3 miles as well.
What?
Limpopo.
Eh.
There's a village called 3 miles.
3 miles?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So we just arrived at our second accommodation in Zomba, and first is just getting the bags, but yeah, the room space looks okay, cozy. After settling in, the next day we went back into the city center in Zomba, where we found this beautiful coffee shop with an art gallery as well. They didn't have a name for the art gallery, it was just art gallery, which was strange for me, but anyway, this was the beautiful coffee shop that we stopped to have a drink at. I really enjoyed the interior design, and it had this indoor outdoor kind of feel to it. After the coffee, we walked down back into the main city center to just get a feel of the city of Zomba, and we also discovered a lot of artists who are selling their own handcrafted artworks. And this artist, whose name was Alex, crafted all of these incredible sculptures, but also sold crystals, which was quite new to me because I never really saw African men, especially, as people who would be connected to crystals, and I didn't realize how much they are also holders of deep spiritual knowledge. I guess this is also showing my own exposure to the concept of chakrahans, that it's mostly just women who are in touch with crystals and the deep healing powers that they have.
Mica, black tourmaline, and quaz, and amethyst. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we were really lucky because we kept connecting with people who matched what we were also looking for. So we met Batawi, who is a descendant of John Chilembe, who was one of the freedom fighters against colonialism in Malawi. And he's the one who actually took us up to Emperor's View on Zomba Mountain, which is where Haile Selassie I, the last emperor of Ethiopia, came to visit Malawi, and he shared his deep, incredible knowledge and history about Malawi once we were on the mountain, and throughout us just spending time with him, which I was really, really grateful for. So we arrived at the top of Emperor's View, which is the exact space that Haile Selassie I stood along with other leaders in Malawi when he came to visit. We took the motorbike up because hiking up this mountain would have taken us hours, and you'd have to start at like 5 in the morning, and we didn't have much time because later on this day we were traveling again up to Monkey Bay. So we just came here for the day and we took the motorbike. It was much quicker, although it was a bit scary, but I enjoyed it.
He's selling precious stones.
Here you can see they are precious.
Ndio siana.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ndio siana. Uyu blue agate. Yeah, rose kwazi. Awaso no smoky kwazi. Uyu rose kwazi iso. Awandi ma smoky iso kwazi. Uyu granite.
Granite.
Yeah.
Oh.
Granite stone.
Sure.
Size ya blue.
Sure.
Uje ni ndiye mubongo bwanji.
Lunguzi. Lunguzi ndi 15. 15
Yeah, 1000 and
zinthutu izizi panopa zinatha museo muone mwaenda mwaziona pena pa
museo. It's like spiritual to explain it to our origins and the mineral and mix up with our spirit with the minerals like stone, precious stones, how it works with our bodies. Yeah, you see.
And the ones I have here in my hands, which I just chose them because I liked how they look. I don't know what they're.
This one tiger's eye.
Okay.
Head.
Yeah.
This one tiger's eye. This one.
That one is smoky quartz.
Smoky gold.
Yeah, smoky quartz.
Very nice. Yeah. This one.
That one is lady agate.
Red agate.
Yeah.
Very nice. This one.
That one is yellow quartz.
Yellow quartz.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. This one.
This is blue agate.
Blue
that
agate,
one.
like that one.
Yeah.
So you have good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
That one is black tourmaline. These are brown tourmaline.
okay. I like brown tourmaline.
Okay.
Yeah. So this place is called Emperor's View. Emperor came here in Malawi in 1966. Yeah, he was with Kamuzu Banda and the ministers of Malawi and the chiefs of Malawi, like Yao chiefs, the Ngoni chiefs, the Chewa chiefs, all of them were together with the diplomacies of Malawi. Yeah, so that's why the place is called the Emperor's View. Until now, every year we come to celebrate. Downside of Msanje. Msanje is near border of Mozambique. And the spirit of Mbona is rising there up to here. And that Mbona, when people is praising him, and is praising the spirit of Mbona, is traditional so. You see? Then Mbona is showing his knife up to the sky. Once he show the knife to the sky, the rain starts same time. And there is a story, Mbona is the rainmaker.
Rainmaker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mbona is the rainmaker. Yeah. And the wind which come from Mbona area. Yeah. When that wind is blowing, going to the north. When that wind is turning back, is rain.
Rain.
So the spirit of Mbona is still working in Malawi. Yeah, and is still working in Africa. And the spirit of Mbona is chasing white people.
So are there still any like animals on this mountain, or they hunted,
many
or
animals.
there's many still?
But the animals of this mountain, they don't attack people.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like our ancient chiefs. Yeah. Like a father, Haile Selassie, you bless it to stay with them. Yeah, because His Majesty was moving with many animals in this mountain. Yeah. So the mountain of this mountain, there is no what? There's no harassment for animals eating people, but there is also big animals.
I like that because they like to put fences. Now the animals must be agitated.
Yeah.
They don't want to stay there. It's better like this if you just let nature be.
Yeah, true.
You know? Yeah.
True. Yeah, my mother told me that on old days when they were young, she say, all this area, animals is passing. Like they say, Masimba gapita ga mumu. Is talking our language. My mother is talking. So now is he running away through the privatization and the centralization of the cutting down of the trees here, and they say deforestation. They run up here they say better to stay near the lake.
Okay.
Yeah, there is jungle.
And we are off. Yo. Oh. Yeah. Wow. Damn.
Yeah, because it's coming from Kirasai Mountain.
Yeah,
Kirasai view. Yeah.
When we came back from the mountain, we passed through the Zomba market, which was a really incredible sort of underground hidden market where we bought some vegetables, and we went down to Batawi's restaurant called One Love Restaurant. If you're in Zomba, Malawi, make sure to check it out. It's a really incredible space where the Rastas gather and share meals, but there's also a shop out in the front, and I really enjoyed the design yet again because there was a lot of plants. They even had hanging plants, and then Forrest started making the bread, and then I got to making this coconut and peanut sauce marrow curry, which tasted really delicious, and a salsa, and that was before we had to get our taxi to move on to our next destination, which was Monkey Bay. Please like this video and comment your thoughts down below, but make sure to subscribe and turn your notification bell on so that you don't miss the next video, and I'll see you back on this channel, Baker Like Anita, for part 2 of the Malawi vlog.
How many plates we need?